Hi, and welcome to another episode of Hot Takes with me, the Silver Fox. Now, the name of this video is Can Kate Forbes Yet Be the First Minister? And why am I asking this? Well, yesterday I did a video about John Swinney and how he had said that they must attach a lot of importance and look seriously at the Cass report. This immediately will have alienated the Greens, probably beyond the point that all communication breakdown, there's a communication breakdown, all goodwill and whatever has gone, because the Greens are desperate that the Cass report be ridiculed and dismissed and removed from existence. This does two things. Firstly, it does go to show how very little political nous John Swinney has. He's like Humza Yousaf. He's got like that much political nous. And I say that for a reason. He's come out and said what he said before he's been elected as First Minister. Now, with alienating the Greens, of course, it means that every other party voting against him as First Minister means he doesn't become First Minister. And the clock ticks, and there's 28 days. And so the SNP will then have to present someone as a potential First Minister that is acceptable and that the opposition parties can accept. And there aren't going to be many of them within the SNP. And I think the only one that could stand as First Minister could be Kate Forbes, because I think that the Tories would back her. Now, you're going to have this strange situation where Kate Forbes could put herself forward and say, look, me, the only way that wouldn't happen is if her own party voted against it. Anyone but Kate kind of thing. Now, they don't want her necessarily as leader, but they might accept her as First Minister. I think the Tories would possibly go with her as First Minister. She seems a natural Tory in terms of her social conservatism. And that utterly, of course, would destroy any future relationship with the Greens. So it has that bonus side effect. And so, yes, you're in a position now that Kate could become First Minister. Or, and this is the other option, they could put her up, or they could put anyone up, it doesn't matter. And all the opposition parties then say, no, 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 no one acceptable within the 28-day period. And there's a Holyrood election. It's not a done and dusted deal now. Until this afternoon, until this evening, it probably was. Until John Swinney came out and said, we have to look at the Cass report, treat it seriously, and, look at it and accept the findings of the Cass report. And the moment he said that, click, the universe changed. Everything is now up in the air. This is a man who should have kept his mouth shut, who should have just went like that, blah, 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 not give any answers, keep a low profile until he secured the First Ministership. Couldn't help himself. I'm wondering if this will make him shout. Who knows? Because if he doesn't get the First Ministership, and it does have to be presented either to someone else or there is an election called, it will undermine him as leader of the party immediately. He will be starting on a massive loss. He'll have to take the L and move on. But we know how unforgiving, shall we say, the SNP can be. And so either he has to face the fact that he's not going to be First Minister and someone like Kate Forbes will be, because I can't see anyone else in the sort of hierarchy of the SNP that would be acceptable to any other party at the moment. I think the Greens just won't vote for any of them. And Labour and the Conservatives and whatever aren't going to be wanting the likes of, say, Angus Robertson or Michael Matheson, God forbid, or even Shona Robinson. God help everyone there. So who have you left with? There really is only Kate Forbes. So she could emerge that way. Or, like I say, they either do that or they pull their finger out, they work together and they force an election. And of course, having an election at Holyrood now would be really expensive for the SNP. They're not geared up for a Holyrood election this quickly. It's not in their cycle. It's not in their sort of funding cycle. So it would cost them a lot of money. They've no more got that out of the way. Then whatever the result, it doesn't matter because they're going to be so much in the hole in terms of funds. And then Rishi, in a few months after that, calls a general and they've got nothing. They've got literally nothing. They cannot afford to fight it. This could be the final end of the SNP. The other parties need to be aware of this. They need to look at this. They need to jump on this opportunity to change history, to change the world as far as Scotland's concerned. It would change everything. You got the SNP out, both Holyrood and Westminster, and then possibly out and dead, gone forever, never raising the spectre of a fascist nationalistic state in Scotland ever again. It's a joyous thought. Now, whether it comes to pass, you can't say. I mean, this is all speculation. But if it does happen, you could have Swinney as the last leader of the SNP. A man who failed the first time. And boy, is he going to fail the second time. Spectacularly so. Possibly the greatest failure of any politician in British political history. And boy, there's been some bad ones, like Michael Foot and the duffel coat at the Remembrance Parade. That did for him. You had, who was the ginger guy? The Welsh guy, Labour leader. God, I can see it. Kinnock. Then Kinnock goes down to Brighton with Glynis, and they're walking on the beach going, oh, look at this, and they get the press there to go, oh, look, I'm just Johnny Normal. I'm walking the beach, holding my wife's hand. A wave comes in. He stumbles over and gets washed over by the wave. That was the end of Kinnock. And then there was Miliband and the bacon sandwich. Man who can't eat a bacon sandwich without looking incredibly weird. He's like, huh? And their whole face is contorted. And everyone says that one picture destroyed their election campaign. So there's been some pretty spectacular ones, but none as spectacular as what John Swinney is about to do, because he opened his mouth before becoming First Minister. And with it, he could utterly destroy, not just lose an election, but utterly destroy the entire SNP. And I say, bring it on. Absolutely, bring it on. It is going to be fantastic. So let's hope that this happens tomorrow, or whenever the presentation for First Minister is, and that everyone just goes, nope, and let the games begin. Thanks very much. We've got to keep an eye on this story. This is a fantastic tale, isn't it? But we'll keep an eye on this story. Make sure we keep up and see what's happening on it. But for heaven's sake, let's make it a thing. Till next time, stay safe, stay well, and I hope this video has earned a sub and a like. I think it's definitely earned a like. But if you haven't subbed yet, hit that sub. Thanks very much, good fellows, and goodbye.